Hey guys, can I have some real talk time with you? Today was rough. It didn't start out that way, as most rough days don't, at least for me. But half the day through, my children started smelling like poop. So I changed my daughter, and she had a wet diaper. And so I thought that was weird, and it occurred to me that maybe my son was the one with the wet diaper. Sorry, dirty diaper. And then later, I smelled him, and I thought, oh yeah, buddy, maybe it's you. So I lift up his shirt to go to check his diaper. And as I do, I feel squishy wetness and realize my hands are now covered in poop, as well as the back of his shirt, as well as his back. And surprisingly, there's still some left to have in his diaper. And the poor thing is just walking around happy as a clam with this butt full of poop. It's the sweetest thing, and he just dealt with it. And so at that point I decided he's just gonna get a bath. And I just lift him up, haul him upstairs, give him a little bit of a shower, and they think that it looks fun. They didn't used to like baths, but they've started to. And so my daughter's gesturing, like pulling on her diaper, and gesturing like she wants to get in. So I put them both in the tub, and I see, after a little bit of playing, I see my daughter squatting, and I thought she was just squatting because she does that. They like to stand in the tub, not sit. And she stands up and has this big grin on her face, and there's this pile of squishy poop, and then this log floating away, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Now, I've had poop in the tub, and I've had blowouts, and I've given plenty of little mini showers. It's not the first time in the last 18 months, but it was too much poop. And then so I quickly grabbed them and sent them on their way to wander around bare butt, and thankfully she didn't have poop on her body or anything. I was trying to figure out, how do you clean this out of the tub? And so I grabbed a couple of baby wipes and grabbed it and threw it in the toilet, and then I know you can't flush the baby wipes, or shouldn't, and so I threw those away. And then I was trying to find the comment, and I couldn't find it, and so I was trying to figure out how I was gonna clean it. So I let the water drain. It didn't take the poop down with it, the remaining floaties. And I realized it still stunk, and so I sprayed it down, and then I was just so frustrated, so upset. And I messaged my husband, and I was honoring and asking where the comment is, and he was so sweet and so kind to respond calmly, and that he didn't know. I was just up to my eyeballs in poop. Later that night, things just, one thing after another, just was irritating me, and people were saying things in a way that made me feel mad or frustrated, and just kept mounding and mounding and mounding. And I eventually was venting, not yelling at my husband, but yelling my frustrations. And he was so good about listening. I just couldn't figure out how to release what was built up inside me any other way other than just increasing the volume. Do you ever feel that? Do you ever feel like it's just like trapped inside you, and you just gotta get it out? You just can't release it any other way. It's so hard, hard. And my sweet husband was so great about just listening and validating and being a good ear, despite the fact that we still had twins that were not screaming, not throwing a fit, but doing frustrating things, like spilling water on their trays, or throwing things over, things that were adding to my frustration and would be adding to his too. But he listened so well. Do you have people like that in your life? People that amaze you with their ability to be calm despite the storm around? I mean, he's human by all means. He gets upset about things, but most often he is so out tonight and go on a hike with Fit for Mom. I have like pistachios stuck in my throat. That's why I'm not like choking back tears. Although I could cry. I was so glad to get out. There's just something about being outside and being amongst these women. It was a group probably of like 20. So if you're not familiar with Fit for Mom, structure of the one in Salt Lake in Utah County has a one night at least a month that's a mom's night out. And I've never been to one I didn't enjoy, and this one was the hike. So let me tell you about this hike. This is the Bear Canyon Suspension Bridge, and I would say that it's good for anybody, any level of hiker, meaning adult hiker. For children, I would recommend they need to be able to walk on their own and understand boundaries and danger and listening. And so like maybe a 5-year-old, if they're like that kind of a 5-year-old, like if they're an obedient 5-year-old, you know what I mean? And that they can understand, because there are some edges, and it's not like a sheer drop off, but if you went running and you didn't understand that it drops, it could be dangerous. So the trail has two inclines, and they're not crazy steep, but they are still inclined, and it has the suspension bridge that you go across, and it's a beautiful view. Now the bridge does sway a little bit, so if you're scared of heights, keep in mind that it is high, but I thought it was really doable, not super adventurous, and I really thought it was great. It was fine. I'm really good with like mild things like that. So if you're around, I highly recommend going to it's in Draper, the Bear Canyon Suspension Bridge Trail. And if you look up, I think it's Orson Smith Trailhead. If you look at what I told you, Bear Canyon Suspension Bridge, Google Maps will direct you as well. So you will be able to find it. But I wanted to give a shout out to my husband and just say that I hope that if you're feeling similar, know that I can relate, and maybe you can send me your crazy stories. And if you have crazy poop stories, send them over. I don't mind hearing about